Hey guys, Kerrod here. Today we're going to be talking about improving your posture. We're going to get you out of that overflexed, rounded position that you see a lot of players in, which can cause the majority of their poor shots. Let's get into it. So before we start today, guys, please go down below and please like and subscribe. Press the little bell so you get notifications of any of these upcoming videos. Here to help your game, I'm going to be covering a whole bunch of topics over the next few months that are really going to help you improve your game. So let's get into it. Today, talking about the posture. Down on the driving range, I'll see many different types of positions that players get themselves into. Sometimes an overflexing of the knees and a rounding of the upper spine. Then they run out of room at address in this position here. On top of that, we also see some very stiff-legged, very bent over positions. And the issue with this is it effectively changes a couple of things. Starting off, number one, with your body's natural balance points throughout the golf swing. If I was tipped too far over in this direction here, all things being equal, I'm more likely to fall towards my toes, so I'm going to make compensations in my swing. And then also the opposite here, if I've got way too much knee flex, I've got too much pressure back towards my heels, and that's going to cause me to want to stand up because it's affecting the way that my body's going to move throughout the motion. So setting up in a good posture position in your address is incredibly important for creating some consistency around your motion. It's one of the things that pros do really well that recreational golfers can watch, observe, and learn from, so they too can improve the quality and consistency of how they swing that golf club. So let's get into a little routine and a little process that you can follow that can help you get into a better posture. So starting with the down the line view, what I like to see is for students who struggle with their posture to preset their stance. I want to see your ankles underneath your armpits and your toes flared out. From this angle here, ankles underneath your armpits and toes flared out. The flaring of the toes is quite important. It's going to allow you to turn correctly and keep your balance throughout the swing. So we've got our stance at our ankles underneath our armpits and our toes flared out. From this position here, what I want you to do is take your grip and lay your club parallel to the ground about a hand and thumb distance away. And you can simply measure that by getting your hand and putting it into this hitchhiker position from your belt. We're going to measure that hand and thumb distance away and take our grip in this position here. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm trying to make sure that my body is very straight. I'm not trying to round across. I'm sure I've got my arms in a natural position on top of my chest. I'm not artificially straightening my upper spine in this position here. My arms are simply sitting on top of my chest and the club is parallel. Now you'll notice there's a certain angle established between the club shaft and my lead arm. And this angle is quite important to keep as we get into our postural position. So starting from this position here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge from the hips down until the club touches the ground. So, for example, I've got a 7-iron in my hands. I'm holding the club how I would normally for this position here. I've got the club parallel to the ground, a hand and thumb distance away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock my knees out so they're dead straight. Now, when I hinge down, I'm not changing the relationship of where this golf club is in regards to my body. I'm not pulling the golf club towards me, and I'm not down cocking or unhinging my wrists. The club is parallel to the ground, and I'm going to hinge from the hips until the club touches the ground and then slightly flex the knees. Now, you'll know you're in a good position if you can let your hands dangle off the club and you can see how they return nicely back to that grip. That means that you're not reaching for the golf ball, or in fact, you're too close and you don't have any room. So once again, let's do that again. Standing up dead straight, knees locked out, club parallel to the ground, tilt from the hips until the club touches the ground. When you do this, you want to feel like you're going to fall forward. The counterbalancing move from falling forward is simply lightly flexing your knees. Now, when that golf club touches the ground, you'll notice that I've just guessed where that golf ball would be sitting. As I slightly flex here, now it sits perfectly in the center of the club face. Now, if I went through this posture routine, got my hand and thumb distance, tilted down, and my golf club is miles away from the golf ball, I wouldn't want to reach into this position. I would simply just shuffle forward because now I know that that is where that ball is supposed to be. So in this position here, I feel powerful, I feel active, I feel like I can make a dynamic move, an athletic move, and create some power. Very different from where I would see a lot of players where they've got over-flexing of the knees or tilting too far down with their chest. Now, a great reference that you can use to check that you're in the correct spot is to simply look at yourself in a mirror. And if you can dangle your golf club from the back of your triceps, and a line runs from the back of your triceps in front of your knees and then down through the balls of your feet, that would indicate that your body is within its natural balance. If I was too tipped over and I got this line from the back of my tricep, well, it would fall too far out over my toes, or in fact, if I'm leaning back on my heels, well, then I'm not going to have any room at all. So that's a great way to sort of see as a reference if you're in the correct posture. You can also just check in a mirror from behind, and you'll be surprised if you do record yourself in this new position, how different and how much more athletic it looks relative to what you were doing before. So as a summary, we're going to stand up dead straight with our knees locked, club parallel to the ground, hand and thumb distance away. We are going to hinge from the hips until the club touches the ground, feeling like we're going to fall forward. The counterbalancing move is a light flex of the knees, shuffle into where the ball is, and that's going to put me in a great spot to then make my backswing. So if you're struggling with your posture, use this here as a guide for a great way to ensure that you're getting into a better posture and set up position, and I'm sure it will help a lot with improving the quality of your ball striking. So once again, please like and subscribe, comment below if you've got any questions regarding in today's video. But until next time, I'm Kerrod. Thanks for watching.